Hello and welcome back to the next instalment of our A to Z physio guide for dancers. I'm Sarah from Peak Physiotherapy. Today we're looking at the letter C, and C is for core. Now I obviously don't intend to go into all aspects of the core, it's a very complex area and far too much to cover in one short video. What I will do today is show you 2 or 3 fairly simple exercises that you can do at home. You don't need a lot of equipment, don't need a lot of space, but it will start to work those key muscles around your tummy and your pelvis area that are really important with this topic. The first thing to try and identify is a neutral pelvic position, as this is important with all of the exercises that I'm going to show you. It's important that your pelvis isn't too tucked under or with your bottom sticking out, and there's a very simple way in lying that you can identify where that neutral position is. So, lying on your back with your knees bent up, head looking straight up at the ceiling. Try initially just to rock your pelvis, flattening your back into the mat, and then the other way, sticking your bottom up so you have an arch in your back to the full extent of the movement. Gradually lessen that movement until you reach a midway point, and that is your pelvic neutral. Your hip bones should be facing up towards the sky or the ceiling and should not be tilted one side to the other or down or back. This is the basic starting position for some of the exercises that we're going to do today. The first exercise we're going to go through today is for your deep abdominal muscles, called your Transversus Abdominis. These lie across your tummy at the bottom and form a corset, if you like, to support your lower back and keep your pelvis in a neutral position. We'll start in a lying position, as we were before, with our legs hip width apart, knees facing up to the ceiling. Make sure you find your pelvic neutral before you start. You're going to get some light tension through those abdominal muscles. Imagine that you're putting on a pair of really tight skinny jeans and having to suck your tummy in to be able to do the zip up. That's the feeling that we want. These muscles will hold your pelvis in a good position as we start the exercise. To begin, trying to keep each of your hip bones facing up to the ceiling, you're just going to lift one knee so that it's in what we call a tabletop position. This is at 90 degrees from the hip and 90 degrees from the knee. It doesn't want to be too far into your chest, too bent, or too far away. From here, we can either simply lower the leg back down, or for a more advanced version, as you lift up, keeping these tummy muscles tight, we can extend the leg out towards the floor but not touching, bring it back to the tabletop position, and then repeat with the other leg. Keep breathing throughout. It's important not to hold your breath, and make sure that your pelvis doesn't dip to one side or you arch your back as the leg extends. Repeat this until your tummy starts to feel a little bit achy or tired. That's when you know that you've worked the muscles. The next exercise I'm going to show you is a basic bridge, and this is to work our hip extensors or our bottom muscles. Again, we're going to start in that crook lying position. So get yourself nice and set up, pelvic neutral, deep abdominal muscles switched on, feet hip width apart and knees pointing up to the ceiling. We're going to start by tucking our pelvis underneath, and we're gradually going to push up through the back of our legs into a nice straight line or a bridge position. We can have the hands resting lightly down by our sides, squeeze through the bottom and then lower back down. The final thing to switch off is those glutes muscles as your pelvis comes back to neutral. So again, we tuck under, we roll up through the spine into a nice straight line, making sure you're not dropping your bottom or overarching. Just think of a straight line from your shoulders to your knees, hold for a few seconds and then roll back down through the spine, keeping your bottom switched on, and then switch those muscles off as you relax. One more time. Squeeze your bottom, tuck your pelvis under, roll up and through, hold at the top, and then reverse. If you find that your hamstrings are perhaps cramping a little bit, you can adjust the position of your feet. The closer your feet are to your bottom, the more you will work your glutes. The further away, the more you will feel this through the back of the leg. I'll try a few times until you start to feel tired through your bottom muscles, and then rest. The final exercise I'm going to show you today is a basic clam, and I'm sure many of you will have tried this already. It's brilliant for working, again, our bottom muscles, and it helps with our turnout control, so it is really important for us as dancers to master this one. Again, we're lying down, but this time on our side, nice and flat. You can have the arm out underneath you, or perhaps to the front of you for stability. We are making sure that our feet and our hips and our shoulders are all in a nice straight line. I'm going to put my arm out here just for comfort. The trick with this is to make sure that we are stacked. Imagine you have a skewer going from the ceiling through your hips into the mat. This stops you rolling around during the exercise, which is really important. You have to engage these deep tummy muscles again, and we're working the muscles in the back of the bottom to perform this exercise. I would put your hand onto your hip bone so you can feel if it's rocking backwards and forwards whilst you perform the exercise. Keeping your heels together, we're going to open out our top knee into a turnout position, up towards the ceiling as far as you can without rocking the hips back and losing control. It's quite a slow and steady movement, and I recommend that you hold this position at the top for a count of 10 seconds to really feel this muscle start to kick in. Once you've reached that 10 seconds, lower the leg down and rest. Make sure that you're not sticking your bottom out or tucking under through this exercise. Keep that pelvic neutral position throughout. And again, lift the top knee up to the ceiling, hold for a count of 10 seconds, and then lower down. Repeat approximately 10 times. You should start to feel a little bit tired through your turnout muscles. You can then turn onto the other side and repeat the other leg. Finally, after working these muscles, particularly if we've worked them to fatigue, which we should have done with those last two exercises, it is important to have a quick stretch. This is a nice stretch for the bottom muscles, and again can help with our turnout. We start in a lying position, cross the ankle of the leg that is to be stretched across the knee of the other side, reach between your legs and pull the knees into the chest. You will feel a stretch in this area. If you let this knee drop in towards your chest, you will lose that stretch. So it's important to keep the leg turned out as much as possible whilst you're stretching. You can put this foot up against a wall or on a chair if you need to, or simply hold it with your hands. Try and relax as much as you can, and I would hold for around 30 seconds up to a minute or two. As you get more relaxed, you can bring the knees further in towards your chest. This exercise can also be performed in a sitting position. I'll show you on the other side just to even myself out. Again, cross one leg over and just bring your chest towards your knees instead of knees towards your chest, and just hold this position nice and relaxed. So that's it for today. I hope you found this useful and it's given you the confidence to start some of these basic core exercises. If you have any specific queries or comments, please do get in touch and we can look at designing a one-to-one individually tailored programme just for you. All our contact details, as always, can be found on our website at peakphysiotherapy.com. See you again.